flown to the moon. We've built shopping centres hundreds of metres above the earth. We've built self-driving vehicles, and we've built networks that keep us connected 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We did this, for we are doers, ambitious, driven, possibly confused. What we can't do is stop. What we can't do is nothing. We can't enjoy being still. I don't mean standing still, I mean peaceful, content. I woke up one Sunday morning, hungover, as usual, probably after another night like this, to an email from my brother. And now I've got 3 older brothers, but this one was a little different. He was a monk living in Thich Nhat Hanh's monastery in Plum Village, France, and he wanted me to come and visit him. I read his email, resumed my hangover, and resumed my work week. But my brother wasn't going to give up. He was a monk. He was very patient. And the emails kept on coming, asking questions like, when in your life have you ever really stopped? The emails continued, and then came the best part. He said, you want to meet a mature, kind, authentic woman and learn the tools to love one genuinely? He knew that if he mentioned women, then I might actually go and visit him. And so I did. See, not only patient, but very clever. I made it to this fascinating place, uncomfortable like never before in my entire life. No friends, no phone, people walking really slow, people really happy, bald heads everywhere. So what happened? Did I become enlightened? No, I got bored. All the things I could easily distract myself with were no longer available to me. I used to think that because I was never alone, I was never lonely. But boy, was I wrong. In the monastery, there were people everywhere, sitting, walking, eating, alone, all the time, and they were never lonely. I realized right then, how can we enjoy our relationships with others if we can't happily spend time by ourselves? Thich Nhat Hanh emphasizes that the trick is not to run away from our suffering. But I can safely say all I ever did was run away from my suffering, using sex, drugs, alcohol, even relationships and technology just to make the race that much faster. But exploration doesn't have to involve always moving and doing and striving. We can explore ourselves every single day and learn countless new lessons. But we can't do this if we're always tied to our phones all day or planning our weekend's activities on a Monday afternoon. What we need is a tech detox. We need to throw away our phones and our TV remotes instead of using them as our pseudo-defense system. If we just distract ourselves again and again so we never have to answer any real questions, we'll never get to any good ones either. As a society and as individuals, we flourish when we can remain curious. When we can sit with ourselves, bored and all, we learn so much about ourselves. We connect to our values, we connect to our strengths and weaknesses. We really examine our lives and we become less a product of our environment, and instead we start creating it. What else did I find was born from nothing? Empathy. We run so fast we forget the world around us. We forget that there are people everywhere, 2 feet from us, experiencing every emotion under the sun. I saw a man in Plum Village who was clearly unwell, and for the first time in my entire life, my heart actually ached. I felt true and deep compassion. And it is not that I wasn't surrounded by people in my life who had experienced hardship, it is just that I'd always been too busy and distracted to even notice. I made an effort to make him smile, but really it's no effort. But I would never have given that simple hello if my mind was always running and planning. Enjoying nothing changes how we look at the world because it gives us the time and space we all so desperately need. It gives us these new eyes that Marcel Proust spoke of. Stopping, slowing down, being uncomfortable, and not running away was the cornerstone of finding happiness within myself and not always having to strive for it in external things. What we really need in this fast modern world is to cultivate solitude, connect with ourselves, and really feel the joy of quietness. So I quit my job, but I also quit sex and alcohol. And wasn't that a good thing? Well, not forever. I wasn't becoming a monk, but for long enough until I realized why I started doing it all in the first place. When I got home, most people said, wow, how boring. Ironically, it was the first time I actually wasn't. And remember that email mentioning meeting a mature, kind, authentic woman? Well, I did that too. There she is. Because the people you attract are merely a reflection of yourself and what you value. And what did I ever really value before? 3 months living in the monastery in this rundown hut with no electricity, no comforts with my monk brother was the grandest adventure I've ever been on. And I had traveled a lot before this. I just never explored what really matters. Maybe it's a classic case of less is more. Less stress, less confusion, more time, more happiness. Doing nothing taught me how to live simply and happily, and it was these experiences that led to the creation of the Happiness Compass and my book, Solitude, How Doing Nothing Can Change the World. We are all responsible for our thoughts, words, and actions, for our world and the world our little ones inherit. What are we offering them? You don't have to wait until your monk brother sends you 100 emails to inspire a quarter-life crisis. You don't even have to buy a motorbike or get a tattoo. Just ask yourself, wherever you are in life, what am I doing and why? The answers are all around you and in you. Just don't rush past them.